Hey, gymnastics moms, does it sometimes feel a little bit like an emotional roller coaster in helping your gymnast think about how she's going to reach her goals? If so, we have got you. This video is for you. You're in Mindset for Moms, where we help moms develop happy, healthy gymnasts who know how to win. And this month, in the month of March, we are talking about how to crush your season goals. Now, one of the things that happens is as gymnasts are really focused on those goals, sometimes they get a little emotional. And one of the things that we like to talk about is how to be scientific instead of dramatic in going after the do goals. Now, we talked last week about do goals, so go back and watch that if you didn't. But the do goals are the things that they need to do in order to reach their goals. So let's say that one of their do goals is that they need to get their legs straight on their acro series on beam. They could pick up, maybe even up to 6/10, depending on how bent they currently are. And that would be something that could really bump up their score. And so their do goal is going to be to straighten their legs on their acro series. So then what we want to do is do the scientific method. So instead of it being like, I tried to straighten it and I just couldn't, the emotions that they get to, they want to just pick, I'm going to make a hypothesis. I think that if I try to focus on pressing my knee in, that would help me. I think that if I try to focus on squeezing my quad, I think that if I try to focus on, just push through straight legs, whatever it is, they can come up with what they, a couple ideas that they think, a hypothesis that they think might help. And then they're going to run an experiment. They're going to try that thing in a way where they feel safe to try it. So maybe they need to move back to the floor. Maybe they need to, do something there in order to do that. And then maybe it's a cue word they need to tell themselves. Maybe it's just that they need to focus on it. Like whatever that is, they're going to run the experiment and run it a bunch of times. And then they're going to gather data. What did they observe when they tried to do that? Sometimes they'll observe like, well, I got my legs straight, but now I'm not staying on. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe before I was using that bent leg to pull myself back over. So now I need to still straighten the legs, but square the hips. Or, now it's the next thing that they need to do. And so they're just going to take it one step at a time, one hypothesis at a time, run the experiment and do it again. This is such a great process to help them learn kind of for anything, whether it is, getting new skills off season, but, even just the like talking about getting enough sleep. Well, I couldn't fall asleep or I couldn't get my homework or, okay, so my hypothesis is if I actually, did my homework on my free period in school, or if I made sure and I got the assignment done in school, or I got all of my assignments done on the weekend, or, just finding a hypothesis and then running the experiment and then figuring out what the next step is. Like using this scientific method and everything that they do can really help kind of take some of the drama out of it and just be like, all right, what's the next thing we're going to try? When they're in this place of, I'm just going to try this thing and see what happens, they are running out of the emotion of curiosity. And curiosity is a very light-hearted emotion that allows them to not be so hard on themselves if it's not, working exactly like they wanted it to work. And it allows them to do one step at a time. So, scientific method for their do goals. Is super, super helpful. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times when you try to do these things with your gymnasts, you find that they're not as receptive when it's mom as they might be when it's their mental performance coach. If so, we've got you. We would love to have your gymnast inside of our program. Watch one of our free parent trainings where we talk about what we do inside of our program. And then if your gymnast is an optional, sign up for a strategy session. And we would love to get her in our program, get her the training that she needs to crush her goals this season. We don't need to wait until next season. We don't need to wait until the summer. The time is now. Every week counts, and we can help her do the work on her brain in order to reach that full potential that that she has.